Put a finger down if you and your best friend that you've known since kindergarten got your first place together at the age of 18, 19, and within that time she had gotten pregnant, but it wasn't with the guy that she was with at the time. And so instead of telling him the truth, she said that the guy that you had over raped her. Just to end up with the actual baby daddy and be like frolicking around with him. Put a finger down if your mom was adopted, and so since birth you have been constantly reminded that you'll never actually be a part of the family in so many different ways, right? Which created you being someone that didn't have really any emotional response to like family and connection and like people having kids and wanting kids. But you also spent most of your life chasing that feeling, wanting to be loved, wanting community by people that actually resembled your family a lot in the sense of like not being emotionally available and wanting to give you the love that you desperately wanted so bad, but like trying to get it from them so bad, which also played a part in like how you saw in that taste in your mouth when thinking about friendship and love and community and etc. that you then had to spend so much years like letting go of and understanding that not everyone's like that. Put a finger down if your mom suffered with bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, and she looked at the world through that lens, and dealing with poverty and etc. And so that created a mom that really didn't let you do a lot, but also just wasn't emotionally available to like give you any type of stimulation that you needed as a kid. So once she actually released a little bit of her grips and let you go out and like experience the real world, not only did it make you very afraid to do like the like little things, right? But it also made you like chase this idea of freedom that you had through like watching a lot of TV and movies where you were just like drinking at really young ages and chasing adrenaline and like being around people you probably shouldn't be around and having sex at a really young age because again you thought this is what it was all about and what freedom was, which then you then had to spend 10 years. Another thing you had to spend 10 years on letting go of like addiction of like alcohol and sex. Once you realized it was doing actually nothing for you with nothing good, and that wasn't what freedom actually meant to you ever, but just like what you thought it was and what it meant to you. I don't know. Put a finger down if you spent so much of your life in fear to where it created you being so disconnected from your body that you then had to spend, remember that 10 years I've been talking about? Another thing that I had to work on within that time was relearning how my body actually felt and like where parts of my body was actually located, like where my lips were and how that actually felt on my body, like when I allowed myself to actually feel my body, my emotions and what I had gone through and what scares me and etc. Learning how to like pee without being very tense, literally playing a part in my eyesight getting better and not being super blurry just out of this, like me no longer being super tense. Anyone? Oh yeah, I forgot to put this down, okay. Put a finger down if another friend that you've known since middle school, someone you considered your family and vice versa, like you would call her mom your mom and all of these other things, you moved into her home that her mom had given her a couple years ago, and the idea was that you guys were going to split the rent, but she had other plans. She was going to use your money to just do whatever she wanted to. And so when the lights and stuff would go off, instead of, again, being real about what she was actually doing, she tried to make it seem as if it was your fault and you weren't going to work and you were doing all of that. And she actually made her family believe this, a family who I considered, well, you considered, right? How do you guys do this? Anyways, you considered your family literally thinking that maybe they would sit down and like talk to you and like see your point of view and stuff, but no, just decided to go along with what she was saying and like demonize you and treat you terribly, to the point to where when you lost your car and then you lost your job and you were in a new city that you didn't know like how to get around and the public transportation system and all that, you didn't understand it, which then made you be in a place where you didn't know how you were going to eat, and she knew that, but she didn't care because she was just mad at the fact that she could no longer use you in the ways that she wanted to. And even to this day, there's still this narrative that like you're a bad friend and like, it's your fault. Bonus finger, put a finger down. Put a finger down if you've been called a faggot at a really young age, like I'm talking 8, 7 years old, and you have always felt the negative reactions from your friends, parents, and how they treated you. You've always been aware of like when they wouldn't invite you to like sleepovers and parties and all of these things and how uncomfortable they were around you and how they would literally talk about you like the adults that knew of you and like you were friends of, like their kids or whatever, like would talk about you, and that playing a part in like your fear of like being yourself.